Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom Spark and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about that huge thing that everyone's talking about always, saying don't use a US based VPN or don't use a VPN based in this specific area. I'm going to be clearing up the misconceptions about this because even though I've somehow made 5 videos on this already, people still leave comments on it and it's really starting to piss me off. Hey guys, if you haven't already, make sure to check out vpntierlist.com. I've pretty much rated every VPN in existence and the brand new 2.0 rating system is more accurate than ever before. Make sure to choose an S-tier VPN to get the best VPN that pretty much does everything you need it to do. Promo codes also are on that site and a VPN quiz. Also, make sure to check out my Twitter account for updates on the channel, as well as a subreddit to join the community here on the channel, reddit.com/r/TomSpark. Anyways, back to the video. So guys, the most common thing you'll see around is people saying, don't use TorGuard because it's based in the US, or don't use private internet access because it's based in the US, or use a different VPN because it's not based in the US. And let me tell you, every single person that's telling you this is not a lawyer, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Now, I'm not a lawyer either, but by using common sense, we can actually identify why this is not an issue and why it shouldn't be the reason why you pick a VPN or not pick a certain VPN. Number one is you shouldn't pick a VPN based on jurisdiction because VPNs in the end are not for targeted surveillance. If you're worried that a specific country is going to go after you for using a VPN, well, if you're really doing things that bad that a country's surveillance agency would go after you, well, chances are you shouldn't be using a VPN. You should be using the Tor network because it's more anonymous and harder to track down people using it than VPNs. VPNs at the end of the day are for people trying to protect themselves from mass surveillance or protect themselves from tracking on the internet, protect their IP from kind of private companies and stuff like that. They're not really meant or designed to be used to protect you from law enforcement. In fact, push comes to shoves, VPNs will give up information on you if they have any or if they actually do collect logs. So keep that in mind. Now, this is probably the most important part of my argument is that let's say you're in the USA and you want to use a VPN. You might decide to pick a VPN based outside of the USA because you think that's going to protect you. If your chosen VPN is not based in the US, somehow it gives you more protection from any kind of attack from a spy agency if they're going to go after you. Now, already you should have paid attention to my point number 1, where you shouldn't be using VPNs for targeted surveillance. But if you didn't listen to that point and you're using a VPN based outside of the US, is it going to protect you more or not? Well, let's say you're living in the USA and you're using a VPN based outside of it. If you do some kind of crime in the United States of America, the US government is going to find that VPN IP that you're using and pretty much be able to tell which VPN you're using. If this VPN is based outside of the US, they're going to contact that country's law enforcement agency, and then the government is going to contact the VPN in that country and give information over to the US spy agency. Doesn't really matter if it's 5 or 14 eyes or all this shit. That is what is going to happen. If you're a US citizen, the US government is going to find a way to come after you if you're committing crimes in the US. Some other country out there isn't going to protect your information. The government's just going to be like, okay, yep, VPN, give it up to us. Now, let's say you're outside of the United States and you don't want to use a VPN based inside the United States. So what would happen then if you do a crime in the country of the VPN base of a location where your VPN is? Then the government is going to request information from the VPN where you are, and they're going to give up your information that way. So either way, you can't really win. And that brings us back to point number 1. You shouldn't be using a VPN to protect yourself from a spy agency or targeted surveillance. Anyone who tells you that somehow picking a VPN outside of the 5 or 14 eyes is going to somehow protect you from the United States government if they want to come after you is just lying to you, and they're not a lawyer or related to any kind of spy agency at all. Number 3 is probably one of the most important reasons as well, is if you pick a VPN based on jurisdiction alone, if you pick a VPN because it's based outside the US, what happens when the VPN that you picked that is specifically in the jurisdiction you want sells out to another company that is based elsewhere? Now, I was going to use ExpressVPN as the primary example here because they just recently sold out to Cape, which is based in Israel, and a lot of people have kind of lost trust in them for that fact, which is one reason why they probably made a new blog post talking about how much British Virgin Island jurisdiction protects its customers. But even if you take a look at this blog post, pretty much what they do say is that having a company based in the British Virgin Islands serves just as kind of an additional step stepping stone for a spy agency or anyone trying to go after someone. Basically, they even admit that here. It's a highly burdensome process to obtain a breach of Virginia court order, and most investigators do not go through painstaking effort. However, chances are if someone is coming after you, they don't mind going through a little extra effort. Take this example with Proton Mail, which had to give up information on a user, and they shared the IP address of anti-gentrification activists. So the Swiss government was willing to go up to the effort to give up information on just anti-gentrification activists. I guess they're like squatting at some kind of apartment. So pretty much what France did is that France contacted the Swiss government and then pretty much made Proton Mail give up information back to the France government on these activists. I mean, these aren't serious criminals. These aren't like terrorists. So the fact that this happened here leads me to believe it could pretty much happen with any privacy or VPN related company. So think about that. Anyways, guys, that's just my opinions on this one. I hope it has provided some clarification for you in that you should not pick a VPN based on the jurisdiction. The only caveat here is I wouldn't pick a VPN based in Russia, China, Iran, Egypt, some of these places where it is pretty much ran by dictators and totalitarian regimes, which they pretty much collect data on everybody. Pick a VPN that's in S tier. You know, TorGuard is based in the United States. VPN is based in the British Virgin Islands, but both these VPNs are owned by the same companies. They're trustworthy. TorGuard has 0 trackers, no reputation of ever giving up logs on any users or anything like that, and it's a safe bet. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.